Adam Smith, the father of economics, provides us with some insight on production and operating successful businesses. He wrote in The Wealth of Nations that consumption is the sole end and purpose of all production, and the interest of the producer ought to be attended to only so far as it may be necessary for promoting that of the consumer. His advice holds true today. Producers flourish in business only when they continuously satisfy consumers by supplying products that they value at a price per unit that exceeds the cost per unit of production. Producers running businesses, suppliers transforming resources into products, and entrepreneurs searching for unnoticed business opportunities realize maximum profit, that is, total sales revenue minus total costs, by bringing to market those goods and services valued by consumers. Consumers can and will pass on opportunities to do business with them when their asking price per unit exceeds the personal value consumers place on the items available for sale. Without government interference, responsible and accountable producers operating in markets cannot force consumers to buy. Passing on opportunities to buy is always a viable option in free and competitive markets. So, successful business people must constantly strive to satisfy consumers. If they do not, another business will. Just like consumers, producers live in a world of scarcity. Their key constraints are the quantity and quality of the four key resources. These are natural resources, labor, capital, and entrepreneurial talent. Producers must constantly strive to satisfy consumers and search for opportunities to serve them while using these resources efficiently and effectively. Producers are incentivized to produce more of a particular good or service when the market price of that item increases and they're able to cover the per unit cost of resource securement. In other words, higher market prices are attractive to producers. They increase the quantity supplied when the market price goes up. Why? Profit margins are higher. In other words, production decisions involve deciding how much to produce by weighing the per unit price against the per unit cost. When consumers offer market prices above and beyond per unit costs, businesses flourish as quantity supplied increases. If market price is relatively low, there are limited profit opportunities. When price falls below per unit cost of production, profits are negative. Producers are better served by shifting resources towards producing other goods and services. Negative profits, known as a loss, signal to producers that the resources are being used inefficiently. Consumers are not willing to pay prices high enough to cover the costs associated with resource securement. Production efforts should move on. To recap, when the price of an item starts to increase, for any reason at all, producers are able to cover marginal production costs. They will increase the number of units produced. Quantity supplied increases with the increase in the market price per unit. With each increase in price per unit, producers increase quantity supplied as long as per unit costs are covered. Flourishing and prosperous businesses signal that producers are satisfying consumers by producing what they value. Businesses are providing others with what they want, need, and desire at prices that are economical to consumers and, at the same time, profitable for producers. Similarly, when price decreases, quantity supplied decreases. This positive relationship between quantity supplied and the price of an item is called the law of supply. If something other than the per unit price of the item changes, then either supply or demand for the good will change, depending on the non-price factor that changed. Supply shifters involve the supply curve moving outward to the right when supply increases, and supply will move inward and to the left when supply decreases. Supply shifters include changes in the cost of production, technology, taxes, subsidies, the total number of producers, the price of a substitute production good, the price of a complementary production good, business expectation, future prices, and government regulations. The supply of an item will increase when producers realize a decrease in the cost of production, technology advances, taxes fall, subsidies increase, the total number of producers increase, the price of an alternative production good decreases, businesses become more optimistic about the future, and government relaxes regulations. Correspondingly, supply decreases when the opposite occurs. As stated by Adam Smith in 1776, the sole purpose of production is consumption. Remember, saying no is an option. Producers can try to sway consumer choices, but consumers have the final say. They decide freely to purchase their goods and services.